Hi, crafty friends. I'm here with a quick share of my latest batch of journals with the theme of Scotland. And I had quite a time finding pretty ladies in pretty dresses that also had tartan in them. And I've been actually collecting images for quite a while for these, but I finally put these together. And there are 3 of them. They're good sized journals. They're 9 by 6 by just under 2.5 inches wide. And they're covered in, it almost looks brown through the camera. This is actually a brown green, darker than olive color corduroy. And I just love how plush this is to the touch. So let me just give you a peek inside the covers of each of them, and I'll flip through one. They're quite similar. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Let me move these first. Quick peek inside this gal. I didn't name these journals. I usually name them. It was Feather, Pretty Dress, Pretty Smile. They never got to the point where there were names. But just taking a peek inside, that is the front cover. And inside the back cover. And fuzzies everywhere. Let's see, I'll set this over here. Here we go. And I'll look inside the next one. I love these, the vanilla sari. It puffs up so easy when I tie it in a bow. If you separate the dangles of the bows and then pull them forward just a little bit, most of the time they'll give you a nice poof like that. Unsolicited sari silk tips. I just love the flowers in her hair. They're just perfect for the project. So inside the cover of here, I've worked some tartan minis onto the back paper. And then that's downtown Edinburgh with their cathedral in the background. And then the back cover, oh, my Band-Aid is picking up fuzzies. There we go, inside the back cover of this. And of course, these will lay flat, which makes it usable. So that's a peek inside the second one. This is the first journal, and on each of the covers I've put this strip of plaid ribbon and kind of draped it down, ballooned it down, and there's a kilt pin in each, and then the pretty cable knit border along the tassels there. Reminded me of cable knit sweaters that you would wear when it's chilly in Scotland. I just love that picture. The cover images are backed with cheesecloth, burlap, and canvas that are all frayed. Can I guess at that layered look? There are a little bit of, I'd call them petticoats rather than drippings. That the journals do stand up just fine on their own like that, but these just kind of fold forward when it stands on end, so they're not long and bulky. And this is my favorite vanilla colored sari silk, which not only does it shed a lot, but with all of the plaid flannel that I used in these journals and the corduroy, and it being winter, there's static cling and foofies everywhere. They even scoop up with the little dust mop there. So Big fuzzy alert. And this is actually some Tim Holtz paper from his Dapper collection. And I just thought that went so well. Love that image too. The digi stamp of him dancing. Okay, I'm in frame. There's some stenciling, and the thistle is the national flower of Scotland. So there's a lot of thistles throughout here. And just some fun stitching on some different plaid ribbon. Working plaid into these, the two best ways to find various tartans and things like this were finding floral ribbons and then going into my flannel bin. I even had an old flannel shirt that I loved the print on, the colors, and I used a sleeve of that in this journal. Like these corners, they kind of remind me of ivy, which I picture growing on the older buildings. Of course, most of the pictures I see are vintage, but it's a Flora McDonald's farewell to Bonnie Prince Charles, or Charlie as they called him. Just a little pocket there. And a quote by J.M. Barrie, who wrote Peter Pan. There is a charm of a little Scottish terrier. Some pretty one-sided paper that I actually tea-dyed, then made a pocket of it. It's a tea-dyed index card, some little swatches of tartan on it. And a quote by William Wallace, some buttons. An old tourist ad to visit Bonnie, Scotland. The dangles in the middle of the signatures have the same Tim Holtz plaid paper. And just some stamping. And this is a map of Scotland. Just backed with tea dye there. And that's one of the Highland guys. Oh, I forget what they call them. They used to stand watches and have a relay system of fires and signals and things from their mountains. And that was just such a great painting of one of their warriors. And a little patchwork here. I love that image too, of the old man in his cottage by the fire making his dinner with his dog. More fuzzies. And stamped card. Voltaire, we look to Scotland for all our ideas on civilization. These were from the set of tartans that I put out. They're mini pictures, and this is the Chiefs. I think they were in the same set. There's 6 or 7 Scottish digi-sets in my Etsy shop now. I lost count. Back with tea dye. And here's a charm with the Tree of Life on it, which has Celtic origin. And I looked it up because I didn't want to get it wrong. I knew that Irish heritage had Celtic influence, but Scotland did as well. So I try to keep my research straight. Such a pretty portrait of those girls. And just some more tea-dyed backing on and some tartan cards. The static cling. Little burlap with some flashing. The men who wear kilts, they wear what we in America call knee socks, but they call them kilt hose. And on the sides of the kilt hose are tassels or little swatches of a certain material that hang down like that, and they call it flashing. And this is on the main street in Edinburgh. And a little stitched plaid thistle looking stamp behind it. A little button dripping from the burlap pocket. Sorry about the light. The sun, we have clouds and sun, and they keep alternating. Bagpipe as a digiprint. And some more of the cable knit tassels. In each of the journals, I put a page of poetry by Robert Burns, and he was the national poet of Scotland, or is the national poet of Scotland. So I thought that was neat. And here's a man fishing. They call it angling in Scotland. So I have a digi in my shop too, with a collection of paintings of the beautiful Scottish landscape with, usually you can spot a fly fisherman somewhere in the picture. And this charm is mittens, which I imagine they use frequently in the winter in Scotland. I have a Band-Aid and the sari keeps still sticking to it. I can't get away without trying to shake the fuzzies off. I love that picture. And a little tag. And how about this young lady? I love the dresses and the hats. Just fabulous. And this is a Edith Holden page. And this is a great old illustration of the Highland Games, which they still have every year. As a matter of fact, they have Highland Games here in America, where different groups and clans tend to have moved and immigrated to many years ago. But you can find them all over the mountains of Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia. There's all kinds of Scottish events surrounding their Highland Games here. This is my Nessie page. That's the actual lake or loch, Loch Ness. And I love this trim. I saw this in the store and I immediately thought that's got to go with a sea monster or a mermaid. But I already had this journal in my head, so I knew that that would be really neat. And Walter Scott, this quote, "Many miles away, there's a shadow on the door of a cottage on the shore of a dark Scottish lake." This will date your age. How many of you thought that was a lyric from the Police's Synchronicity album? I was so happy that was poetry and I could include it in here. And of course, now I have to go read more Walter Scott, but it was just kind of a neat discovery. Some more quotes by Robert Burns and Robert Louis Stevenson, also a Scot. And here is a old-fashioned cameo. Just felt like it was something that one of these ladies might have worn. Here's a tartan pocket with a tartan card tucked in it. And here is Walter Scott, quips and bits of his writing. The bagpipe page. And some more chieftains of the clans. This was so cute. I went to hit a different ornate stitch on my sewing machine, and I get so myopic and intent on what I'm doing that I don't double check things, and it did a completely different stitch, and gosh, that looks fabulous. I'm gonna have to remember that for future ruffled attempts. A little pocket with the lace dripping off the page, and here's a tiny tag that I had a little downtime, so I just got out the ribbons and the tags and sewed little swatches on them. And the chieftains sewed in as a pocket with a little stenciling in back of it. And this is actually some antique lace that I tea-dyed. Top. Love this picture of the woman fishing, angling. And that one as well. I checked with my son-in-law, who's from the Glasgow area of Scotland, about the flags, and it's my understanding that both of these were traditionally used as the Scottish flag, and my friend Wendy in Nova Scotia tells me Nova Scotia means New Scotland, that they've incorporated both of those into their flag there, so I thought that was very interesting. And this is downtown Edinburgh in more vintage times. And there's another one of those Highland warriors, and I think the caption on this was "Returning Home." I just love that picture. How pretty is that? This is the home of Walter Scott, I want to say. Robert Burns? No, Walter Scott. This was his home, which is a landmark in Scotland. And this charm is a lighthouse. Scotland has 206 lighthouses, as it is surrounded by water mostly. So I thought I could get that in shot. I thought that that would be cute to include. Benjamin Franklin. Did not strong connections draw me elsewhere, I believe Scotland would be the country I would choose to end my days in. More fuzzies. Another little teeny tiny tag. There we go. And this map of Scotland is different than the other one. It actually shows the original territories that the clans were in, and then lists them below. And then the back cover, I've worked some of the tartan mini images onto the back paper, and fabulous bagpipes. I love the ribbons coming off the ends there, blowing in the wind maybe. So that's the journal, and there's all kinds of different ribbons and canvas and muslin and lace worked into the top there. That was a lot of fun. It's extra soft. So there we go. I appreciate you guys joining me for a look at these journals today. I will be back soon. I have projects literally lined up on my piano, and just trying to get enough time out of the greenhouse and away from our other homesteady projects to get some more videos up in the short order. But thank you so much for joining me for this today, and I will be back soon with you. Bye-bye.